This is your weekend market review for Friday, July 4th, 2025. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and it's your weekend market review. Friday, July 4th, 2025. Happy Independence Day. Hopefully you're doing well. Hope you're having a great long weekend, celebrating with family, friends, and just being proud to be an American. Well, as we know, going into next week, potentially, it's kind of a vacuum between the fireworks, in my opinion. Next week is not a lot of data, and earnings is starting the following week. So I think it's going to be an interesting backfill week, potentially backfilling, pull back, or we could blow off top. Who knows? After hours futures are down. We'll see. Again, the big thing that I'd be watching for next week is the trade deadline on July 9th. Who's coming to the table? Who's getting tariffs? Who's getting hammered? Who knows? We'll see. Ironically, it's interesting to see that we talked about the markets in general, buying them in April on the dip aggressively, especially if you got into small caps. I think that trade is going to work out marvelously over the next few years. It's just interesting because everybody and their mom said that whatever was going to happen with the trade deals and tariffs, the markets would get crushed. Well, here we are in celebrating America Day, and the markets are at new all-time highs. Go figure. Now, again, being bearish, bullish, whatever. Talk about traders market. Some names are leading, some are lagging. And we've been pretty spot on with that because the old leaders have not necessarily been leading. And it's an interesting market, but just in general, like this mindset that like the world is going to end. All right. If you want to bet on that at the lows, you typically get crushed. So again, if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room, links description below. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you're having a good long weekend. Appreciate all the love, support, generous donations. If you'd like to chat, take 30 minutes, get on the Calendly. I know people ask questions and then they disappear. Again, have the openness, the vulnerability to admit like, hey, I had to admit on Friday, I was wrong about certain things, shorting certain things. I got stopped out. It happens. It doesn't hurt. Again, being open, being vulnerable, being able to say like, hey, you admit when you're wrong is an amazing thing because that's part of trading. In a probability-based game, you are not always going to win. Our batting average is in the low 80 percentile. Well, guess what? That means how you handle the 20% of being wrong is more important ultimately because, again, you can pick winners we pick winners pretty well, but again, it's how you handle the wrong, right? I can be wrong. Everyone's going to be wrong at some point. Anyone selling you certainty is certainly lying. I always remind people of that. And again, if you'd like to chat on 30 minutes, we talk about anything markets. Again, if you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate, again, you get 2 agents for the price of one. I would love to help you out anywhere in the country. Again, housing right now, if you want to buy a new build, oh my God, there's so many deals. Anyway, but let's get back to it. If you'd like to chat about the mindset of this, again, it says communication and relationships, but again, my strong point ultimately is helping people understand themselves and how they interact and interface with people, places, markets, whatever you want, people, place, thing. Did you get my joke? Like, again, that's how you are a reflection of how you feel about yourself, and the world around you is what you attract. And so if you are feeling abundant, you are feeling light, you're not taking stuff seriously, you're not making it complex, you attract in what you want. And again, people don't understand this. And again, if you want to chat 30 minutes, anytime, love to just kick the shit, see what's up, and then we can go from there. Again, if you do end up wanting to do some sort of, again, mindset coaching, relationships, whatever. Again, I personally tell people this all the time. Like, again, how you do in the market is a reflection of everything about yourself. And whether you have traumas, behavioral patterns, underlying from childhood or particular things that happen in your life, they will find themselves into the market, I promise you, and how you interact with it. Also, again, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. Posting on Twitter and on the Discord room. It's very interesting seeing a lot of Satoshi era Bitcoin wallets all of a sudden come active. We'll see if they're dumping. Again, I personally think that Bitcoin, you don't trust it until it breaks out. If not, this could be, again, this thing outperformed the tulip bubble. So we'll see what happens. Again, like, subscribe, and notification bell if you'd like to hit the thanks button as well on YouTube. I appreciate it. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, what I would appreciate is if you are a follower, a friend, family member, anyone who just generally appreciates the insights, or wants to give negative feedback, leave a comment below, heart, share. I appreciate that. That's the greatest way to give back. I appreciate you guys. So also check out thetradingagent.com. Also posting ideas, thoughts, plenty of stuff, recommended reading. Let me know I can help. Always here. All right, we know the fear and greed. I talked about this. Between fear and greed, it can go anywhere. There's really no, I don't know, need to be aggressively going, oh, the market could dump or the market could go. It's going to do what it's going to do. When you see extreme fear and you see extreme greed, you have to be on red alert. Not to say, again, remember, this thing got down to like 2 in April. So we're just entering extreme greed. Again, not saying you need to go out here and short, but I'd be watching to take profits. Again, even if you like, and this is the thing, money is not destroyed. It's going to rotate. So just be aware of that. Not all names will get dropped if the market does pull back. It doesn't mean the market has to pull back yet. And again, we know seasonality, July is typically bullish. However, we've made some pretty solid moves already in July. Based on the jobs number, whether they're real or not, I don't know. Because again, you have ADP versus government drop in jobs numbers, and they're totally different. I mean, I haven't seen that big of a miss in a while between the two, but who the hell knows? However, based on Friday's data, the odds of a July cut just went whoosh. They got dropped significantly. Man, it's July 30th. It's only 3 weeks away. It's like the Fed just had a damn meeting. Again, I wish they would do like quarterly versus like, I mean, look at this. They have many, it's a very weird, they have, what is it, 7 or 8 meetings? Ugh, it's just too much. So again, no cut on the horizon for July. Again, and then Powell's getting hammered by Trump. I mean, it's just a fiasco out there. Bitcoin, again, I don't trust it. And again, this is one of the things I tried to show this formation on many a times. I don't trust Bitcoin until you break out of the channel with volume. Keep an eye on it. Again, right now, I mean, there's no volume, there's no breakout. So it just means consolidation pattern. Trade it as you may and as you wish, but I would be careful. Oil, we talked about buying oil down here in the low 60s. I took some profits on Friday because, again, not that I'm bearish oil or bullish. I mean, I'm more bullish, but again, I wanted to reset. Again, when I got stopped out, I go, okay, let's just reset. Keep it simple, stupid. Again, I mean, there's always opportunities. That's what I tell myself all the time. You do not have to feel like you have to do something all the time. And not to say that oil won't go higher or whatever. I wanted to look, when I have my capital invested in something, you have to think about it. Your mind is going to fixate on it. So there's nothing wrong with taking profits, moving on, but ultimately saying, I will probably come back. Again, I like oil commodity. If you've been watching this channel, you know I like small caps, commodities, industrials, for the long run, big time. Natural gas, we like this stuff down here. I'd like to see it a little lower, but hey, I mean, if it bottoms here, that makes sense too. So just keep that on your radar. Interesting what's going on with the dollar, because again, I'm not a big proponent of trading the dollar, but I watch it. And we talked about the dollar getting pretty oversold, coming back to some massive support areas. The big, beautiful bill just passed. I don't know. However, it looks like the dollar's starting to, I mean, again, if geopolitical risk is going to start catching up again. China, we know, is a shit show. We know Europe is just struggling. The only country doing really Argentina, US doing okay, but just keep an eye. I'd be watching this. TLT, as we've talked about, I feel like rates are going lower in time. But we'll see what happens here. Biggest short, I think that's the biggest short in U.S. Treasuries is still on in history, but we'll see what happens here. Again, that's obviously propulsion for these to get bought and go higher, TLT, but as of right now, not seeing anything that's very, I don't know, that red candle from a couple days ago, a little eye-opening. We'll see. VIX, we talked about, makes sense. And again, this is why if you're taking profits, shorting, it makes sense to me, right? Put some hedges on, manage some profits. Look at the VIX. VIX daddy waking up, right? When you see the VIX waking up, you're okay. Doesn't necessarily, I mean, maybe it's just next week, all it is. Right? We've been talking about how, okay, here you're coming down. You're back down after, remember, think about what happened in April. You're back down the range. We talked about the VIX bottom first. Dude, it's done a higher low 3 times. I'm just taking notes as I go over this. I mean, look at it. Keep an eye on it. SPY. I mean, this is just a blow off, right? Or are we breaking out to go higher? I mean, you don't know until, again, Hindsight's 2020. Livermore's favorite comment was say you don't know until you fucking bet it. Now the fucking part is the part that I didn't, and that's the truth. You just don't know. You got the chop into the FOMC, and now we're taking out new highs. Now can we chop? Or are we about to go parabolic for a little bit? Because the seasonality of July. Your guess is as good as mine. Again, short at your own risk. You know, but also if you have longs, manage them. Like, it's just this is a huge move, guys. Like, do the math on this. This is almost a 30% return off the lows. And the summer can be a little sneaky, and not to say that we can't go higher. Again, but just manage it. The summer's hard, some of the hardest trading. Again, that's why I tell people sometimes, that's why a lot of professionals go on vacation. Q. Again, look at these gaps. Are these gaps and goes or gaps and traps? That's what I'd be curious of. Right? And so if it pulls back, how big? I mean, you don't know. I'm going to start shifting this one. I'm just doing a little shift in here. I mean, is it just to the breakout? 20-day? There would be nothing wrong with that. We'll see. Be careful out there. IWM, I've been slamming my fingers. I don't think slamming fingers. Banging the drum on the IWM. Said, watch the 200-day. You backed off. You dojied around it, and you broke out. Again, I still think you're early. This has just been consolidating for what seems like 17,000 years. This is a big consolidation. If you think money's coming back in from tariffs and at least Trump's president for the next 2 years and going to want to invest in America, small caps is where you go. Near term, I mean, you're coming up into this zone. Again, watch these levels. Not to say that it can't just go flying right through it because this thing has been consolidating for so long. But watch what happens up here, right? Like, I'm just taking notes, like SPY, QQQ, gaps, IWM at resistance. We'll see what happens here. It doesn't mean it can't go, but maybe it just needs to consolidate and go. Right? Because you have earnings coming up. You have big bank stuff next week. DIA catching a bid. Okay, catching up. Again, I don't really give it. I don't know why I talk about DIA. I feel like obliged. Like, oh, we gotta talk about the Dow Jones. 30 stocks. Who gives a shit? Gold, as we talked about, second quarter is always choppy and sloppy. Worst case scenario, you consolidate. There you go. Now what? I mean, this is the trade. I mean, I'm putting this down. Gold. Well, if it gets over 317, I'm in. Or pullbacks. I'm just not going to buy it in between the channel. It looks very similar to Bitcoin. Nice run. Needs to digest. Why get involved? Either at pullbacks. Again, keep it simple. I mean, this is where you can put your money in other places. Like, imagine you're just sitting here going, I love gold. And every day you're watching gold. But then you see other stuff moving. It just drives you nuts. Silver, let's try to speed these up. Again, we like silver. We like this move. I mean, holding up over highs. GDX, again, right? Consolidating, looking like it's ready to go. GDXJ, again, are they about to go? They look pretty solid. Like, when we talk about these names, like AEM, right? This thing is consolidating. They're ready to go. AG, this one's been popped over the last couple of weeks. Finally caught up. Oh, why is it showing both volumes? Okay, whatever. What do y'all think, right? Let me move this one. Remove steady. I can't, man, damn it. All right. Blah, that ain't it. Whatever. You guys see, it's just volume down there. Keep an eye on this stuff. I really like that. Just remove steadies. Which one is it? Oh, it's asking all of those ones. Nope. I apologize. I'm struggling here. But again, AG. We talked about this one going nowhere for a while and then finally caught up back at the range highs. What you want to see with silver, last but not least in the silver, in like gold and silver Newmont, right? Breaking out. You need to see that and pass. Again, I like pass. I think if they're buying out mag silver, I mean, that looks really strong, right? High and tight is bullish, right? I mean, pass. I can't. This one, put that on your radar. Again, let's get into Techers. Taiwan semi, new highs. Keep an eye on this one again. I don't know. I mean, again, I wouldn't just short the short up here, but if you decide you want to take on trades, try to have some references. When one's the known reference, it's kind of a struggle bus. Like Micron, you have references, right? You go back and it filled the gap at like 130. Now that's a good short, right? Again, I think Micron isn't a fucking leader. Excuse my language. Keep an eye on it. AMD, again, we talked about these things getting bought in the October lows, due for big bounces. AMD is lagging, right? Island floating reversal, anybody? NVIDIA, right? I still think this is the short of the century, but guess what? I'm wrong right now. Again, we've been kind of right. We're right here. This is where ego has to be taken out. You could be wrong. Again, shorted up here, got stopped out. Now, is this a gap and trap right here? $4 trillion company almost. Law of large numbers says you're not going to be able to grow easy. Like, you have to grow into that valuation. Good luck with that. SMCI, we talked about breaking the downtrend. Coop and the boys identified that one. Intellectual property, I've been on record. I think this is a buyout target. If it is, it's not going to be at a premium. It's just a kind of a charity event to get in the United States. AVGO, again, interesting that Apple's moving on. But here's again, at new highs, this is where you don't want to step in and short them. Now, if you want to short the SMH, the Soxel, it makes sense here with tight references, right? Tight references, right? I mean, you've got this, I don't know, 285 area. Keep it simple, stupid. Old reference highs. I mean, again, could be wrong, but it makes sense right there. I mean, define risk, reward. Adobe, this is kind of going nowhere. Applesauce, we've talked about Apple going nowhere for a long time, in my opinion. I think it's a big consolidation play based on their buyback and dividend. I don't think you can. I mean, you can trade, obviously. There's going to be points where it bounces in the 100-day. Is it going to rip to new all-time highs anytime soon? I think it's going to be a watch and see. I mean, the 200-day, this is where I'd be. This is kind of the make or break point, in my opinion. If this bounce is really getting there, I'd be watching that 200-day. 225 area. Again, congrats if you're trading it. Amazon, Bezos can't sell fast enough. We'll see what happens here. Holding up near the recent highs. Meta, we talked about this one, buying this in the 480 up to the 700 plus. Now it's starting to look tired up here. It's been a nice run. Let them consolidate. They might not go anywhere till earnings. This is what you have to remember, right? There's some names that are probably going to go absolutely nowhere. CRM chopping around. Guggenheim, yeah, chopping around again under its recent highs of the like 180s. Microsoft, this one's been a boss, right? Oops, sorry. Holding up pretty well. New highs. It's tough to step in and short those. NDAQ, I stepped in and shorted it and got stopped out. Part of the game. Again, I like this short in time, but right here, right now, didn't work. I mean, again, I will never get mad about losing $1. I'll get mad about losing dozens of dollars. MicroStrategy, again, if Bitcoin's going to go break out. Netflix, we talked about this one being a blow off top. It's starting to lag. I'd be watching the 8 and 10 day. But again, they have earnings coming up. So is it going to dump before earnings? Unless something's get bad, probably not. Roblox, again, chopping around. You know, and that's the things I would be asked. Do things dump for earnings? You need a catalyst. Catalyst. Roblox has been holding up pretty well. CrowdStrike, these names are pretty damn volatile up here, but holding the 20-day. PanW, again, seems to be chopping around. I like cybersecurity names a lot. And your good old friend Tesla beat deliveries. I just feel like it's going to consolidate here. Again, I mean, I think he's about to go after Trump with this new party. So keep an eye on it. Let's get into some of the random stocks that are out there in the world, in the universe. Palantir, and since the war blow off, I mean, you see the volume there, and the big red bar seems to be into the consolidation phase, in my opinion. Insight, if you bought this in the mid 50s, feeling pretty good, just consolidating, watching the 200-day. HIMS, again, I'm surprised anybody and their mom truly believes in this company. Again, not to say that wasn't a good trading vehicle. I just think it's now, as I've said since basically February, I think it's a big consolidation zone. And guess who was fucking right? It's not about right or wrong. It's just about the typical repeating pattern, right? Like, you had a big blow off into the Super Bowl, and then you just kind of chill out. Baba, gotta like this, but again, the China numbers are bad. But hey, at the 200-day, I keep an eye on it, right? I would absolutely keep an eye on it. McDonald's, this one's been all over the place. And going nowhere. Starbucks, if you bought this one at the lows, we talked about the 200-day coming in play. High and tight would be bullish. Let's see if it gets over it. Airbnb, this one's been chopping around. Not much to say. Again, we just go through these all to see. Coin seems to have had a blown off. Now it needs probably the consolidation phase. DKNG, again, I think there's a short and major pops. So far, looking like such. Costco, this thing had a monster run. Looks like it's consolidating. Federal Express, we liked it in the 215s. You're welcome. It was just had earnings. It's been all over the place, and ultimately it has resolved higher. I just wouldn't chase it. Again, nice trade. XLF, again, financials, earnings coming up in 2 weeks. Blowing off into the top. Oof. We'll see. We'll see. Not blowing off like into a top, meaning like you don't want to see these names going bonkers into earnings, because that usually means that it's going to sell the news event. Hood, we talked about this one, loving it at the 200-day. Congrats. Now near term, probably a little overbought. I mean, big volume at the highs going into, I don't know, it seems like the summer. Again, I like this as a summer stock, but I wouldn't be surprised if it consolidates a little. JP Morgan, I mean, this thing's been on fire. Interesting. Like, I mean, call me crazy. I don't know about this one. Just keep an eye on it. Morgan Stanley, right? There's a lot of names that are ripping into highs. Nice moves. Keep an eye on it. Bank of America. Again, Buffett sold this one. Now we're breaking out. Man, these are sneaky. Again, when you rise into earnings, you ideally want to see something like this before you can break out if you're bullish. I don't know how else to put it. Again, I'm just not a big fan of running big into earnings. I've seen more times than not where you either gap up and it's a top blow off, or it leads to just, I mean, it gets sold. So it's pretty volatile and dangerous. Remember, the implied volatility goes up into earnings. Goldman Sachs holding up pretty well. New highs, worth to watch. Again, carry, this one has been playing catch up. And Trump talking about killing property taxes on homes. Oh, God, would love that. Here you go, coming up into these recent ranges. And XBI, we've talked about this. You bought this one in the 60s. Feels like it's starting to a little catch a baby bid. Keep an eye on that one. Jets, this one's been holding up pretty well. Right. Nice move here. XHB, again, Delta has earnings coming up next week. Be aware of. And XHB, again, I don't trust housing, but decent little pop there, right? All right, let's get into some commodity names. This is where I get kind of excited. Not kind of. I truly think there's the best value in the market. Again, percentage of S&P 500. Materials are 2%. Very low. Very low. Here we go. We talked about buying this around the 85, 86. Nice bounce. Again, if the market pulls back, don't be surprised if these chop around, or they could money rotate into. Again, Dow Chemical, look at this sucker. I mean, huge volume at the lows. Something's cooking there, right? CE, worth the watch, right? We talk about these names leading up. Caterpillar's been holding up pretty damn well. Back near the highs. I wouldn't be surprised if it consolidates. Earnings are coming up, dear. Same kind of thing, chopping around. Nucor, we like steel. We've talked about steel. Commodities. Breaking the downtrend, down channel. Oof. That looks pretty damn, I mean, that's the thing. If it is, put that in your pipe and smoke it. I mean, I don't know why. Here, I'm just doing this on the fly. Where are the fibs on this guy and gal? Yeah, you're at the 0.382, 0.618. Yeah, that looks good. Channel breakout. 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 IIN, right? Here's an example of a channel breakout. Breakout. And still cooking, right? I mean, that thing talked about. And here you go. Here's the nice big up. Consolidate for, I don't know, it seems like 30, 40 days, and boom, breaks out. I mean, that's the thing, right? You just can't always go up. Vale, another one we talked about when it broke, 200-day, big volume. Yeah, right? I mean, a lot of these names, put them in your, I don't know, I always make the joke, put that in your pipe and smoke it, but put these in your like watch list. We hit our upside target on Arrow near term. Again, I'm not saying it can't go higher, but man, I would love to see these pull back. Congrats. If you bought this at 9, you basically caught a damn double. You're welcome. Again, leave a comment below if you're doing well. I love hearing about people's successes. FQVLF, another one we talked about. This is the 10 to 15 range, breaking out. SCCO, again, copper. We like copper, right? You gotta like it. FCX, Freeport, McMoran, holding up. I mean, all these names look really good. URNJ, we talked about buying this one in the 11. Nice little double. Again, I think on pullbacks, worth a watch. Oklo, watching this one, right? Like put this one on your watch list. This looks really interesting. I mean, I might have to snag that one in the IRAs. Waiting for pullback. CCJ, again, this one's been on fire, holding up. CF, again, we like the Agni. Remember we were pounding the table with them, but holding the range lows. Look at that alert. Nice work. Mosaic, right? Talk about a channel break. Here you go, right? Like these names look right. NTR. And again, just don't chase them up here, but look for pullbacks, right? SQM, right? You gotta like this one, right? Lithium. We talked about this. Man, I basically nailed this one. I missed the reload. I was out of town at 32, but posted about it. Congrats. I mean, there it was. I guess I can remove that. Now we'll see what happens when we get up here. Again, this thing goes on monster runs. I'd be probably looking, I don't know, 35, 36. Just taking notes. I mean, I like these names. AA Aeron, another one we've been like pounding the table on. Gotta like this one, right? Yeah, talked about the channel low. Nice pop-up. I'd be watching 29s for pullbacks to add. Kalu, this has been a boss. Gotta like this stuff. MP, gotta like this stuff, right? Top about 18 to 38. I don't know. I'd be watching now. MP at 30. Talked about REMX, right? Like if you bought this one in the, what was it, 32, 33, right? Now you're at the 200 day. I'm watching this. If we get over the 200 day, up we go. TMC, again, is another mining name. Looks interesting. Volatile Cliff. Again, if you bought Cliff in the, was it 5 area, 6? Nice work, y'all. I mean, again, just booyah kasha. Right? You got to like this stuff. So let's get into oil. Last but not least, some of these commodity names. Actually, I keep skipping dang solar. Dang solar. We talked about solar due to bounce, pulling back, and then chopping, and then, wow, flying. Solar subsidies cut, but again, if oil prices are going higher, solar, again, Elon and the folks are pumping solar. I mean, Sedge, look at these names. ENPH, right? Traded around some of these. Didn't, again, out of town when they really started cooking. Talked about this pullback. Was really hoping for the 120s. Again, nice work. And again, I mean, I like commodity stuff, related stuff for solar. I mean, some of these solar names, again, oil prices go higher. These names become more desirable. HYG, corporate debt. I'd be watching, again, here you go with the markets. HYG topped. Like that would be a little bit of a nerve wrack. Just worth a watch, right? Oil, again, I like oil. I sold some around 76 at the, I don't know, on Friday. Just why not? Again, I'm trying to recalibrate so I can go back to finding the best names. This is what happens. And again, I still have some stuff, but stuff, I'm talking about like trading stuff. Like that's what I'm mostly going to share here. Education stuff. Long term, again, I've got commodity stuff. I got small caps. I mean, it's just wait for pullbacks. UNG, again, I'm not a big fan of this product. I like shorting the KLD. We've talked about this one endlessly. Like that's the trade. Now, I don't know, wait for major pops. XOP, again, you gotta like XOP, right? Watching the channel. Just keep an eye on it, right? We talked about how gasoline names typically lead. They look strong. Valero look fine to me, right? ExxonMobil, right? We talked about buying this one at 100. Nice bounce to the trend line. Consolidating. Keep an eye on it. BP, this is probably going to get bought out by Shell. Worth a watch. Occidental, again, Buffett ain't going to lose on this one. Telling you, like these names. But again, just beware. If the market does pull back, I mean, these things can get, if there's like a, say, 3 to 5% pullback in the market, these names will pull back potentially. That's all. Again, or they could rotate into. Again, I'm not a big fan of shorting any of this kind of stuff. Apache, talked about buying this one at the freaking 18s. Nice work. Apache, jump on it. Like that was a good trade. Lyondell base. Again, a lot of good things going on here. Watching the 200, or sorry, the 50 day.
CVE, this is another one, buying at the trend line. EQT, we like natural gas, you zoom out, it's a nice uptrend. Last but not least, Flex LNG. I think will be natural gas exporter. So again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Always here to help. I appreciate all the love, support, generous donations. And ultimately, again, you have to manage risk. Like, again, just basic upside market risk. Be careful of, meaning like, again, the market's going to get choppy at times in the summer, or at least some of your favorite names are. And that's the thing. Leadership can change. And it seems like it is changing and evolving. So if you're not sure, don't trade. There's always something going on. All right. I will catch up with you guys and gals later. Have a great, wonderful weekend. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.